Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News, and joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efeni. Good morning, Mr. Emmanuel.
Good morning, Laila. Good morning, Tundun. Let me dilute the all-female cast since morning.
Don't you?
Yes, exactly. We need some testosterone here.
Yes. Let's start with this day newspaper. The lead story, CBN, why credit easing will not increase non-performing loans. Plans to harness all tools to punish defaulters.
Wow.
Yes. The central bank trying to douse the fears that this increasing the loans to deposit ratio from 60 to 65. There's a fear that it's likely to increase the non-performing loans in banks. Don't forget that for September, at 60% loan to deposit ratio, 12 banks could not even meet that.
Yes.
Yet the CBN has moved it up to 65. Those 12 banks that failed to meet the September deadline were hit with that a total of 499 billion naira the deduction by the CBN.
Yeah,
But they'll be reimbursed, won't they?
Yes. Now,
One would hope.
No one would hope.
now, CBN is saying that with the clause which has just been added, that is a lender will be able to recover its loan from the assets of a defaulter domiciled in another bank. And they're saying this is the insurance, if you want to call it that way, to against loan defaulters. But my question is, if it's owing bank A, he couldn't pay, and you want to use the asset in bank B, and in bank B he has a loan for which I too need to protect with his asset in my bank. I don't know how that is
Then you
going
go
to
to
play
bank
out.
C, D, E, F.
All the way.
Well, I like the optimism from the central bank, but it's a measure that has been put in place. The whole idea is to ensure that more loans are given to the productive sectors of the economy.
I'm all for this, and I understand the hesitation some people feel about the niceties of, oh, you are not a party to the contract, the loan agreement, so you have no right to be involved in it. But frankly, when you look at, again, the budget, the 2020 budget, and you look at the amounts that we're talking about, and you look at AMCON and the fact that only a handful of individuals are owing 5 trillion naira.
Yeah.
Anything that we can do to recoup bad loans, we have to at this point.
But the banks are
Sometimes you
being
have to
pressured
take
to
a
give
hard
out more loans.
Yes, they have to,
Yeah.
to the people who deserve it, not a handful.
Because it's time for the people that are not doing wrong to stop suffering at the hands of
because of the
minority.
elite. They are the ones who have caused these problems.
Are you sure people are also not wary of taking bank loans? Because of the harsh nature of the economy, taking bank loans, putting it in your business.
But this is the vicious cycle. Why is there a harsh nature to the economy? It's for this exact same reason. We're suffering at the hands of a minute percentage.
Of people. 5 trillion naira, really? And then your average Joe Blogs, who actually wants to invest in his business, create employment, create value, cannot even get a
And
loan.
we're talking of lifting 100 million people out of poverty.
Yes.
Well, there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there who need these loans.
Exactly.
So let's see how this central bank monitors and implement this loan-to-deposit ratio. The pressure is on the banks to do the needful. We move on. Daily Trust newspaper, another Kaduna school attacked, principal abducted. More people kidnapped in Abuja. Police arrest 1,214 kidnappers in 9 months. Family of civil defense officer asked to pay 30 million naira ransom. It's the same story you have on the front page of the Sun newspaper. Gunmen on rampage. Abduct school principal, 6 others in Kaduna, in Abuja, Kaduna, Kebbi. Kill vigilante. Sack Niger communities, displaced 1,580. the insecurity in the country with all these attacks. By the way, at least the latest report I heard about this latest Kaduna kidnapping is that the soldiers were able to get these school children who were abducted yesterday. But the previous one, where this school was invaded, where some girls, 6 girls, as well as their matron and teacher were abducted, they are yet to regain their freedom.
And there was another one today with a school principal that was reported. It was, I think yesterday was reported today. A school principal was abducted by kidnappers in Kaduna.
Then around Abuja also, the Federal Capital Territory, more people being kidnapped in Abuja, according to the Daily Trust. So there's insecurity all around the country, and we just hope that the security agencies, the government, has to find a way to bring this to the barest minimum, because for now there seems to be an upsurge.
Like, that's a crazy
so
number.
Alarming.
1,214 kidnappers arrested since when was that?
In 9 months.
In 9 months. Imagine how many more are still out there. This level of banditry is too alarming.
Why Kaduna? Why Kaduna?
Because, you know, the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway has been a no-go area, so they really are operating heavily in that area.
Yes, also Kaduna is one of the northwest states that is yet to start conversation with bandits and kidnappers. You know, those northwest states, governors agreed
led
to
by
speak.
Bello Massa.
Yes, to negotiate or dialogue with these bandits. But Kaduna and a few other states are yet to. Perhaps that's why they are moving their butts. That's why we have the security agencies. The purpose of government is to secure lives and properties.
That's the number one reason that they exist.
We'll move on. Nigerian Tribune. Why it is difficult to meet labor's demand, federal government. Personnel costs rose from 1.88 trillion to 3.08 trillion in 3 years. That's the federal government. Now, the members of the Nigerian Employers Consultative Association, NECA, visited the Minister of Labor to express their fears about the pending or impending strike, which Labor has been mobilizing for. That's when Dr. Chris Ngige made the statement that it will be difficult to meet Labor's demand. Now, negotiation is on. Both parties, both Labor and the government, they are to meet next Tuesday, a day before Labor's ultimatum expires. Now, NECA is saying both parties should approach the industrial court because there seems to be a wide gulf between what government is ready to pay as in implementation of the consequential adjustment and what Labor is demanding for workers between levels 7 and 17. So the Labor unrest that is hanging in the air with what the government is saying, well, I think they need to do a lot in terms of negotiation.
So the government is still sticking to that mass retrenchment line?
Well, they have not mentioned that, but they are saying it will be difficult for government to meet Labor's demands.
Yeah, but what does that mean?
Unfortunately for governments, they signed an agreement.
Now, if we look at the Punch newspaper, look at still on the budget, aspects of the budget being highlighted here and there. The Punch budget, Buhari Oshibajo to spend 3.3 billion naira on foreign local trips. President, Vice President food to gulp 149 million naira. Labour sets up team to study federal government's 2020 budget. Then the Guardian newspaper has another aspect. Senate defends 125 billion budget for National Assembly. Says hard work justifies huge allocation. Tundu, you squinted when you heard that.
It was involuntary.
The National Assembly is saying that their hard work justifies huge allocation. Well, most Nigerians will not agree.
I'm one.
That
70%.
there's a lot of hard work in the National Assembly. They resume on Thursday. On Tuesday, by Thursday, they round off and go on break. I don't know where the hard work is coming from.
I'm struggling.
I'm with you as well on that.
Yes.
Let's move on. Vanguard newspaper, fake drugs inside Nigeria's market of death. Anybody is a pharmacist. Federal government lacks political will to check menace. That's the Pharmaceutical Society of Nigeria. Treatment failures, fake drugs at alarming rate, Nigerian Medical Association. Most substandard drugs imported, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria. Then who is protecting the Nigerian? If all this can happen under the watch, a lot of fake drugs in the market, the issue of fake drugs being administered for malaria and other common illnesses, and they fail to work because they are substandard drugs.
And sometimes they kill
Kill you.
I know two people that have died, and one person who has sustained life-changing injuries had to have a limb amputated because of fake drugs.
Exactly.
It's really a concern.
A major concern for the country. Let's go to the foreign newspapers. In the UK, yes, there seems to be a glimmer of hope. The Times. Britain and Ireland on pathway to agreement. Hopes of Brexit deal revived after successful Johnson talks with Varadkar. Yes, there is a glimmer of hope.
Fingers crossed.
Yes, but Johnson is tight-lipped. 10 Downing Street is tight-lipped for now. Brussels is expecting the details for further negotiation. So let's hope that something will come out, and indeed, on October 31st, Britain will be able to exit the EU in an orderly fashion.
Fingers
hope
crossed.
so.
Not crashing out.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And no extension. As Boris Johnson has said, he would rather be dead in a ditch than get an
You know?
extension. So let's hope he doesn't.
Let's hope. Ms. Efeni, thank you.
Thank you.